Hello, and welcome to a riveting, exciting, ecstatic-inducing episode of Coffee and Cuddles. Now I know, and to quote myself from my other podcast, I know, it's been a long time. Sorry about that. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Life gets in the way, schoolwork gets in the way, eyeballs get in the way.
Health issues, school, my college gets in the way. Still hate math. Doing really well. Still hate it.
Don't you all think he should double major in math and digital marketing?
Ooh, I could do digital marketing for math.
There you go. I think we got him sold. He's also glaring at me right now. So on we go with today's topic, which is, drumroll please,
Imposter syndrome. To quote one of my favorite TV dads, Gomez Adams, Impostore. He says a little better than I do. Essentially, how I understand it, to say the way some people do it, as I understand it, imposter syndrome is the feeling that you are something that you aren't, or you're not something that you should be. What does he mean by that? That's an excellent question. Thank you, audience member, for that question. We appreciate that. Sound effects now. I didn't realize I had hired a Foley person. All right. This is going to go really well. I can tell already.
And that's how he's taking the microphone away from me.
I would never once. Several times, maybe, but never once. How I see this is, and I'm sure she'll agree with me for the most part, I feel like an imposter as a boyfriend or as a good boyfriend. Now, why do I say that? Because I spent many moons and many years with someone that treated me like I was the worst boyfriend in the world, the worst husband in the world. And I spent a lot of my life worrying about, oh no, did I screw up? Oh no, when is the other shoe going to drop? All these things where it was a constant, for a long time, it was a constant 24/7 struggle. Am I the one that's at fault here? Am I a bad husband? Am I a bad father? Am I a bad person? And the answer in the shortest form possible is no, I wasn't always bad. I wasn't always great, but I definitely was not always bad. Was this person a terrible partner? Absolutely. All the time? Not all the time, just most of it. And what I started to say was, I'm sure I drive my girlfriend nuts with this by asking her all the time, am I a good boyfriend? Am I a good husband material? Am I good at this? Am I good at that? Where I still, years later, even though in a few days I will have been in California for 3 years, and my life, honestly, with very few exceptions, has never been better than it is now. I still struggle with this every day. And she tries to help me with it. And I'm sure she doesn't understand what's going on in my brain and why I feel the way I do. But when you're constantly beaten down day after day, minute after minute of, why are you so horrible? Why are you so bad at this? What is wrong with you? Why can't you be better at these things? Rather than work on it like two normal, sane adults would, sometimes it's easier for our partners, spouses, whatever, to point fingers and point blame. Now, like I said, I was not always a perfect husband. I was not always a bad husband. And there are many years where I tried to be the best husband I could be. And I don't do it. I didn't buy gifts to get gifts back. I didn't make dinner to have dinner made for me. I didn't do any of those things. I did those things because I thought that's what someone that loves you does. They take care of you. They make you coffee. They warm your car in frozen mornings when you don't have to get up, but they have to go to work. They make you coffee for work, or they bring you water. If your bathtub isn't warm enough, they bring you water. So I was doing all these things and I wasn't getting it back. And after all this time, that just led to me feeling like a fraud when it comes to being a boyfriend. I think I've talked enough. Now I will let her interject. I got carried away there. I'm sorry.
Please, so let me start off by saying, the other day he showed me a side-by-side picture, a picture of pre-California, I'm going to refer to it as, and
BC,
a
before
picture
California.
before California, and a picture of IC in California.
There you go.
And the picture of before California, BC, you could really see in this photo. Well, I could really see. I can't really show any of you the photo, but I could really see that he just looked like a shell of a human. He looked like he had just given everything and was just beaten down by life. When I look at the opposing picture, the IC picture, the in California picture, he looks much more confident and self-assured, relaxed, happy. So, yes, does he ask me quite often, is he a good boyfriend, a good husband to be kind of thing? Yeah, he does. But does it bother me? No, because I think everybody at some point just needs that little extra assurance from friends, family, significant others, just to know that what they're doing is enough or is good enough. Because, first of all, and I tell this to my students all the time, nobody is perfect. Perfection is not something we can achieve, because we always learn from our mistakes and we always make mistakes. I want you to think back to when you were first learning to pull yourself up, whether it was holding onto the couch, holding on to the pant leg of your parent, holding onto a table, and you would pull yourself up. You'd be standing on your own 2 feet, and then you'd try to take a step or two away from what you were holding on to. Did you automatically start to run? No. What happened was you fell on your bum. So what happened? Did you give up? No. You pulled yourself up again and you tried those steps again. And after practice, you got it and you were walking, and walking led to hopping and skipping and running and all those ways of moving your body. So in your day-to-day life, now that you're an adult or teenager, because, we might have teenagers listening in, are you still making mistakes? Are there still things that you learn from? And the answer to that, even though you may disagree, is yes. Think about a dentist visit that you had. Have they always been 100% perfect? No. I am sure your hygienist had to scrape off tartar, or the dentist might have identified a cavity, or you may have needed a root canal. Okay, these are things that we learn from. We find out, what do we need to do to have less tartar buildup? What do we need to do to avoid the cavities? What could well, I know nothing can trigger a root canal. So that was a bad example. So I'm going to take that and throw it out the window, which would have helped if the window was open, because now it has gone splat against the window and dripped onto the carpet. See, I made a mistake.
You're not perfect?
I'm not perfect. Am I going to learn from this? Yes. That the next time I want to throw something out the window, maybe the window will be open and there won't be a screen in the way, and then I won't have stuff on the floor. So it does not bother me that he asks. And he always looks very nervous when he asks the question, because I know some part of his brain is wondering, oh geez, is today the day that she's going to say I'm not enough? And that's not going to happen. I'm never going to say that he's not enough, because in my mind, he is doing things that show me that he cares, whether it's making lunch for me in the morning, making sure that I eat something before I walk out the door to drive to work, whatever it might be. It is always just nice to know that somebody is there to do something, to take one less thing off of my plate. And you're probably saying, well, breakfast isn't something that would be on your plate. Well, actually, for me, yeah, it was. I was
eat, or you would grab a bagel, or you would grab
tarts,
or cookies, or some kind of snack.
Yeah, I would. I would literally grab like the quickest, most convenient thing as I was racing out the door. He doesn't let that happen. He makes sure that it is something hot. And if he can't do some,
I think I've taken things out of your hand and say, no, we can't do this. And I make you something like pancakes or scrambled eggs or.
Yeah, he's done, eggs and toast. He's done pancakes. If there's no time for something hot, then he will make sure that it is something that's going to give me energy, that's going to fill me up. And it could be something, like yogurt with peanut butter granola on top. And you may be thinking, God, that's a lot of sugar. But the granola has protein in it and it is something filling, and I don't get hungry during the workday. I may have mentioned this a time or two. I am a school teacher with 7-year-olds. And trust me, you don't want to be hangry when working with hangry. Right. And you don't want to be hangry when working with 7-year-olds.
Add that to the lexicon.
Ooh, lexicon. Look at this one over here with the big woods. I don't know where that accent came from.
The big woods?
I have no idea where that came from.
That's like New York and Philly and a little bit of Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Minnesota, don't you know?
Okay. I just did that. Oh, that's been recorded. I apologize for all of your ear pain just then in that 2 seconds of noise pollution. But I had a point.
I'm sure you did. Why you ruminate on that and think about where your point is.
Please.
I don't want you to think that this is solely relegated to the realm of dating. It's not, because you probably heard somewhere in your life, fake it till you make it. Just keep going and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. And it absolutely applies to the working world too, where I've done sales, I've done a lot of things that I felt like, this is so not me, and I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like a phony and a fake, and that's all part of to me at least, that's all part of the imposter syndrome stuff. So it's absolutely something that can come up in your everyday, day-to-day life. I think everyday, day-to-day is I repeated myself there a little bit, but it drives the point home of, there are times when you're going to feel like an imposter. Are you an imposter? Not always. It's one of those sometimes, maybe, definitely not always kind of things where the more you do a task or the more you do a job, the more you do whatever function it is, the more you're going to feel like you belong and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I talk to so many people that are in network marketing and affiliate marketing and all these things, and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. People are going to see that I'm a fake, and not always, because you can do things in such a way where it looks like you know what you're doing, even though you don't. And I'm not saying that fake it till you make it is absolutely great business advice or anything. It's not. My advice would be, go learn as much as you can about something and then go do it a million times until you get it set in your head that, okay, I can do this. And Anna has had to open my eyes about the open mind concept, or growth mind concept, where
growth mindset.
I would say, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this.
That's a fixed mindset.
It is a fixed mindset. And I'm at the point now in my life where I don't say that. At least I don't think I say it anymore. Now I say, I can't do that yet, but I'm going to keep trying until I make it. I do all kinds of crafting stuff, and there's so many things that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I would never be able to do that. And then I do it. I'm like, oh my God, I was able to do it. Same thing with math. And I will tell you, between Google and all the different math websites out there that show you the steps, and most importantly, my girlfriend helping me get through the math stuff, I'm doing really well in this class. And it really aggravates, pardon the expression, but it really aggravates the hell out of me, because in 7th grade, and maybe I shouldn't name shame, but Mr. Torres, if you're still alive and kicking, or this word gets to you, how dare you tell me that I would never succeed in math? And the only way you would pass me from from beginner algebra or algebra 1A, whatever it was called, was if I promised to never take another algebra class. And I am so angry now because I spent so many years of my life. I've been out of high school since 85. So it's been 2 years since I've been in high school. And even it was a couple of years before that. It was like my freshman or sophomore year when he told me that. So since 83 ish, I've been convinced like 11 million% that I can't do higher math. I can do basic addition, subtraction, whatever. But I was so convinced I couldn't do algebra. And now there have been times when she and I are looking at one of my problems for the week, and she'll come up with one answer, and I'll read it again. And in my odd way of thinking, I'm like, no, I don't think that's what they mean here. I think they mean this. And then it turns out that I'm right. And I'm not saying that like, ooh, look, I was right and she was wrong. No, I'm looking at it as, oh my God, I was right about a math question. And she gets so excited. Like she starts jumping up and down before she would say, yes, you got it right. She'll start visibly shaking like, you did it. You did it. That great job. And that just bolsters me so much to continue on. Just that little bit of great job, honey. You did it. You got the question right.
Because there was a problem that he worked on it. I worked on it. And I actually tried to talk him out of the way he was doing it. And then when he entered it the way that I was so sure it had to be done, he lost like half a point or something like that. And when he put it in the way that he had understood the problem, he got full credit for it. And it was one of those things where, oh my God, I should have just shut up and let him talk it through because he had it. He knew what he was doing. So for someone who has said, you know, I don't want to take math. I'm going to do bad at this. I suck at math.
Math sucks.
Yeah, he says that, but he is actually doing well. And I know he pointed out a teacher that had made him feel like he wasn't capable of it. I had a teacher in high school who did something similar to me. I struggled with biology, and I was basically told that if I could not handle high school level biology, I had no chance of passing a college level class. So when I started my career path in college, I took college level bio, and of course lab was separate, and I ended up walking away with A's in both lecture and lab. And it's one of those things where, oh my gosh, I did do it. I can do it. So that's where the whole thing about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset comes in. And the way I explain this to 7-year-olds is I tell them that the second they begin a sentence with, I can't, I tell them their brain basically says, dude, you can't handle this. It runs off to take a siesta and ta-da, you can't do this.
For the non-native Spanish speakers, that means a nap.
Why, thank you, sir. But I tell the kids, if you say, I can't do this now, but I will be able to do this, or I can't do this yet, or it looks hard, but I'm going to give it my best. That's the growth mindset. And then sure enough that they can do things. And to help them understand the difference, I explain it like this. When rollerblades were like the hot new thing, and I'm not even going to tell you what year this was. You can Google that yourself.
Look, just because I started with wooden skates is no reason to bring up rollerblades, all right?
Well, just because your skates had square wheels. So I was at the university, and a company came out. They brought all these rollerblades for people to try. And of course, I figured I know how to roller skate. I have managed to stay on ice skates. So obviously rollerblading must be a combination of the two. So I watched as the rep was showing people how to stop, and I noticed everybody fell down. And I decided I'm not going to ask him for help because I don't want to fall down. So I decided I can't learn from him. Fixed mindset. And the way I was stopping was I rolled into anything not moving. A tree, the side of his parked vehicle. Very painful ways to stop. But that's because I did it to myself. I convinced myself I could not learn from this person. So I was just going to find my own way to stop. After, crashing into things that weren't moving, I did, suck it up and go over to ask him to help me. And yes, I fell down. But if I had stuck with it and practice, I'm sure that I would be more proficient on rollerblades. Will I put them on now? Heavens, no. Give me roller skates. Those I comprehend. Inline skates, yeah, my brain just kind of checks out on that.
Once again, for those playing along at home, we've totally gone off on a different tangent, as we like to do here.
We have not gone off on a different tangent. This is all part of the imposter syndrome, where
I stand corrected.
But this is all a part of that, where people find themselves feeling like they are pretending to be someone that they're not. And I know, and I'm just speaking for school teachers, but I know many of us in the education profession are probably feeling like we are not being very good educators right now because we are busy teaching social emotional lessons. We are working on behaviors. We are working on how to treat other people. We're handling everything but what teaching feels like our actual job, our purpose for being there. And I know there are many of us that at times probably do feel like imposters, like we have the moniker of teacher, but what we're doing isn't that at all.
No, I've looked at what you're supposed to teach throughout the unit. It's insane that the amount of things that they want you to cover in an 8 hour, it's not even an 8 hour day. 6 hour day. And it's just, it's mind boggling. See, now I have no delusions at all about that because I know that I could not be a teacher. That has nothing to do with closed mindset. I know that my fixed mindset, whatever. I'm going to fix your mindset in a minute.
Well, now.
Look, it's my job to do the announcer voice and the voiceovers. Okay, thank you. Stay in your lane.
I'm just going to get over into this lane right now because I like it over here. I return you back to his regularly scheduled thought.
Thank you. But I know I don't have the temperament to deal with a bunch of those little rugrats. I couldn't do it. So thank you for all the teachers out there. Thank you to all the people who do all the jobs that no one else wants to do. We stand up, and here at Coffees and Cuddles, we salute you. That's all I had.
I was waiting for him to say something else. So, so back to where we were on this crazy train ride. If you're feeling like you are someone that you're not, if you feel like you're being an imposter, just know that you are doing the best you can. And there is nothing that you are doing wrong. There is nothing that you need to improve on. You are doing the best job that you can do, and you are the best you that you can be.
Absolutely. My coffee cup is almost empty, so we know what that means.
It means you need more coffee?
Yes, always.
It means I need to take this away from you?
No, never.
Well, I've got it in my hand. I'm walking. Give me back my coffee. Don't you walk away with my coffee. You give me my coffee.
That's going to wrap it up for this episode. As always, we both appreciate your time very much. We know that you have other things to do with your day, so we thank you for taking the time to listen to us prattle on about these things that we think are important. A disclaimer that we always give is we're not relationship experts whatsoever. We just talk about what works for us. It may or may not work for you. Your mileage may vary. Let's see. I covered that. So we appreciate your time. We hope to see you again soon. These are just our 2 cents worth. Your mileage may vary. Yes, I know I said that.
There you go.
I know I said that, but I messed up because it's been so long. We thank you all. We love you all. And God bless. We'll see you soon.
Bye.